I'm a reader, so I absolutely have books to recommend for growing a small business or, farming, anything in that area. And my farming style was traditional when I started. I'll tell you what I was doing: spending a lot of money and not making any. And the first book I read was How to Not Go Broke Ranching by Walt Davis. And then I reached out to Walt. He said, you ought to look into Greg Judy. So I looked into Greg Judy. I bought his books, and I can't tell you how many times I've read these books. And I learned so much, especially from this book. When I really changed my farming, it was because I learned from Greg that I could farm other people's cattle on other people's land. And that's what got me into what you see every day on my content. But this one, this is where I cut my teeth. This is where I really started making some good changes, and I stopped spending as much and started trying to make money with my farm. Greg turned me on to the Stockman Grass Farmer. You can Google that. It's kind of a publication that comes out once a month. It's almost like a book-style newspaper. It's got some pretty good information in there. And then that put me on to Joel Salatin, because he is, I believe, the editor of the Stockman Grass Farmer. And he's a very good writer, and he's a farmer, and he's frugal, and he has a profitable farm. And he does a number of different things. And so I started reading his book. And the book that I would recommend from him would be, if you're new especially, would be You Can Farm. These are really good, easy reads. And then he has Your Successful Farm Business. I don't do everything these folks recommend. I take nuggets from them, like Rich Dad, Poor Dad. There's the nugget that I got from this book, the thing that I remember the most from this book, and this goes along with my farming style, is I stopped telling myself that I couldn't afford to do something, and I started asking myself, how can I afford it? And that changed my thinking. If you're not reading, you're most likely not growing at your potential. Reading is an avenue for improvement, and I always want to improve.